beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel. The selection that I have prepared for you guys today. And welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I definitely appreciate you and want to personally welcome you into the family. For all of my returners, I appreciate your continued support as we do what we do. All right, so we have 4 selections in front of us today. Group 1, this feels like solar plexus energy, confidence, self-trust, decision making, and calling your power back. It has a stop doubting what you already know message. For group 2, you guys have clear quartz, which feels clearing and neutrality. Okay, I would learn new words every day. It is quieter than others, almost like a reset button. Good for cleansing mental noise, calming the nervous system, and helping you see things without projecting fear onto them. For group 3, you have third eye crown energy, dreams, symbolism, psychic downloads, and shadow work. It has a slightly mysterious liminal feeling, like it wants you to trust what comes through in images, dreams, or synchronicities. And group 4, you have what feels like earth, body, material world. The Ace of Materials card underneath makes it feel like manifestation, money, home, body care, and practical grounding. The message is make the spiritual tangible. So the intentions today, or this lineup, it has a movement to it, like personal power, cleansing, intuition, and embodiment. It's giving clear the static, trust your inner knowing, then take a practical step. Not just receive signs, but actually build something from them. So that is what our intentions are set on today. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, we will get started with group 1, and I'll meet you all in your selections. Group 1, you guys chose citron, which is a very beautiful stone, very energetic and empowering, not overpowering. So it's kind of like willpower and drive, because sometimes my sakura or orange is also like energy for me, but this one is like your drive while I'm opening this book and don't have a card to look at yet. Okay, that's fine. All right, we're gonna get started. Let's see what we have here at the bottom of the deck. Ooh, we got our Queen of Cups, which tells us a lot about beauty, emotions, intuition, and like the feels. Learning to work with it, okay? Around it, through it, or just embodying it. I love that. With the serpent. And I have noticed that there are such beautiful creatures on this planet. Like, I was never a huge fan of snakes, but I saw a red serpent with a checkerboard belly, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me, this gotta be AI. But no, it's like a real serpent. So I kind of like the whole zebra connection. The black and white usually talks about something unique, and seeing her, you know, bottom to top is as above so below. It's like a split image with like it looks like an eye at the back. Ooh hoo hoo, you see that? It's like a eye, you know, like a pupil or whatnot. So they say the eyes are like the seat of the soul. Something about soulmates, possibly twin flames. Now I'm looking at these 2 cups, and I don't know where these readings are gonna go, but I take pride in being intuitive and a channeler. So just shuffling them out, plapping the cards off the top, it is very respectful, and it like puts spirit in charge or whatever, but it's not always genuine. And as a channeler, it can make, you know, feel like ADD, like static. So spirit even told me, like, just do you, okay? So that's what we're doing. Now, I'm nosy, y'all, so I didn't expect this to happen, and I'm gonna go with it. I just wanted to say that for all of you that could be very technical, we're going with the vibes today, because I talked about a reflection, as above so below. I talked about emotions and the serpent, it being unique, and then him just, oh my god, he got the same one, and look how he looking at her. Are they looking at each other? That's like a perfect match. While she has harmony and balance, I wonder what he has in this cup, because he just has 1 cup. Now mind you, I know that she only has 1 cup. It's like a reflection, but technically it's still 2. So there could be something about like technicalities. We got 3 cups, and usually 3 cups mean these two, regardless of what's going on in between them, they want each other. Did y'all know that? That's usually how it works. Like the 2 cups, everybody thinks it's like harmony and balance, but it's usually like the actual lovers. And then with the 3 cups, sometimes there's life, the celebration, the party, the people that were invited, there's everybody else, but there's this one element of something, right? And then it gets like pawned off as, you know, the deceptive one sitting over there overhearing something. But I don't think y'all got that unless y'all got that, y'all. Now, do I stop there? Okay, I'm not. Let's go. Now, I don't know why these two, see, and this is what it is. Okay, so this is very energy clearing. I don't know. So I see what Spirit doing. And it's kind of funny because we have been talking a lot about like life, soul purpose and everything, but love could be involved. I'm not gonna hold you. So group 1, there could be something in the subconscious or on your mind right now that may involve the emotion. Let's just say that. Okay, now you're looking at things one way, and I don't know how he got right there, but that'll do it. That's what they do. Group 1, it may be important when we talk about your willpower, your personal power, and your drive to trust you, to know who you are, and to like really get comfortable in your skin, because what you think and what you feel, I feel like it manifests. And the fortunate thing about that is that you are actually in control. The unfortunate thing is we have these feelings about things outside of us that we feel steer us in certain directions, or energetically, you know, make us like attractive to certain things that we may or may not want. But at the same time, that's the challenging part. The challenging aspect is the natural beauty. So someone here could be having an issue with aesthetics in life, personally, or with a relationship. I don't know. It may be crossing your mind. Okay. Now, people pleasing, doing what's best, controlling your emotions. Like, you're good at some things. Don't get it twisted, group 1. You're very good at some things. You've even mastered some things that I'm not going to say she's not capable of, because she's totally capable, but it's just not her. That's not, you know, what goes in her Wikipedia. Okay. So you have done some things that are very favorable and admirable. When it comes to like self-control, like you've got you down packed. And I think that's why Spirit is like wanting to reiterate, if that's the word, that too much control is not the best thing, and especially out of fear. And like for some of you, like I said, it's this relationship that could involve another individual, or it's the aesthetics of something, or maybe even the materials, because we did set the intentions, and then we can't say, oh, all the material talk gonna go to group 4. Spirit won't do that, because some of y'all pick something else and still need to hear something, you know. So I feel like it is very important, or to get a reset, to take on the energy of the King of Cups, because the challenging aspect could be the subconscious, the feelings, the emotions, how we feel and what it looked like. That makes sense, Spirit? Said that makes sense. Great. Because we're coming out of something but going into something else. And I feel like for some of us, it could be hard to believe that the worst has already happened. Like, you may have experienced something in the past that feels like a reminder. And that could be what's in the subconscious, which is why we may need to like rise above the subconscious to get through whatever the situation or relationship is. Because sometimes, okay, those 10 swords could reflect that. Now, I feel that is the advice. And I've always wanted to say that. Spirit always be like letting me explore. So like, you guys come here for whatever you come for, and I appreciate it. Keep coming. But I also get to learn things and explore and like try stuff. Because the 5 of Wands, it's like 2 things always being true, man. there's definitely someone here that may be very uncomfortable about a third party situation. One person isn't even bothered by it, is not even paying attention to it, is looking at spirit, who reminds this person of what they did, because it may be challenging to decipher from the facts and how you feel. Because they could come along and be very manipulative and even an opportunist if it looks like you're about to have a switch in life. So that was channeled, because it's like, what, can I just get one out? It's like, I'll be wanting to unpack one, but it's like, no, just run through them, child. Okay. That could make it less boring too. Be mindful of an opportunist that may see you as, an opportunity. I don't know yet what the full story is behind that. I just said be mindful. But what I was going to say before I got distracted, because this is a perfect picture for the shadow energy of the Five of Wands, but I also have a message for those of you if this is like financial. Okay? So, bad news to good news first. Which one y'all want? All right. Well, I feel in a third party situation, there may be others. And I feel that the competitiveness really gets everybody hurt but the person who's being the manipulator. Okay? This is just so much. Okay, that's one. Two, for some of you, if this is like your spirit, your soul, your subconscious, like your energy, your mind, like all that, okay? I feel that there's a complex. There's a problem when it comes to like the decision making part of it. Doubting yourself because of things that have happened in the past, and then the past is usually, for some of us, as above so below. It's astrological. This is Taurus. And I literally was talking with someone about Chiron and Taurus. So our age group here, if if it resonates, let it. If it does not, give it back. Okay. But there's some split minds, and it's like a battle here between moving forward with something and delays. That could be in the relationship, it could be in business, it could just be in your life. But I promise you, across the board, most of you all that gather in group one, there's a thing going on with that. Okay? Now the good news is, because I was like, Spirit, this is applicable sometimes, and I just never really get it. When I watch shows or when I'm doing your readings, I always stick to tradition, But honestly, the Five of Wands is necessary, and that's like partially like my devil's advocate energy. Now, don't take that literally. If you're new here, don't say, oh, she one of those. Like, chill, okay, relax. But my point is, sometimes people get it twisted when it comes to life. I'm not gonna lie, and you think some fiery, earthy, ego driven energy is bad. You think, oh, we got to do some shadow work because everything's supposed to be kumbaya and peaceful and pleasant and just fall out the sky, right? They don't do that. And if you notice, not to give comparison, because those of you here don't need no more of them, but just hear me out. When you look at others that seem to have what you want, or not be as affected by their emotions or a spiritual process, right? They living their life and shining, actually happy, or at least some sort of fulfillment. Meanwhile, you, the good guy, the spiritual path person, just really, did you say hurt and bothered? Okay. Sure, we can go there. The spirit said it, not me. But anyway, the point is, this Five of Wands energy would serve as like a spark to have you, I'm trying to explain it without misinterpreting it, so I guess I can't keep running in circles trying to. The point is just flat and clear. It's like your spice. It's your fire. It's your spice. It's that spark that makes you the better you. You're on fire. You know what I mean? That's necessary and needed. because this is like possible outcome advice. Now, on the flip side, these are all transital. I'm almost certain. Well, I'm absolutely sure, but I'll be trying to be humble. This is a transit. This is affecting billions of natal charts. The stories unfold differently in your lives. Multiple parties are involved in a situation or the battle, these characteristics, finances versus soul, and then being a people pleaser, so you don't really have a lot of spark in you in the first place to roll your sleeves up and all that. I mean, you could, but you don't. And spirit is like a little bit ain't gonna hurt, right? Especially if you're focused on something practical, if you're focused on business, if you're focused on practical marriages, if you are an essential worker, a healer, if you are somebody who say ain't nobody taking mine, regardless of what this lady about to unpack in this reading, he's mine or she's mine or this is my relationship, and there may be some roadblocks in it, but I'm coming out on top. Okay, well, you definitely need a lot of spark, buddy. You definitely need that. Okay, so that helped. Okay, I was like, get it out. Ugh, like how they hit the back of your head. Spit it out. All right, let's see what else we got. Now there's a change, and I feel like some momentum build. Oh yeah. Look at that. They're so thick. I wanted to make sure there was nothing else on the bottom. There's some momentum building and some sort of change happening. Someone figures something out, and hopefully it's something I said, child. I could take credit for that. But someone figures something out, someone changes, something changes, the wheel gets rolling, and I love that. You got the Two of Pentacles coming up under our king. And then you have the Eight of, and I knew this little bear was, why did I know this bear was important? That's why I said, we just gonna chill. And Spirit told me, Spirit be telling me stuff while I'm telling you stuff. But it all works out because everybody get what they need. And so that's so dope. I knew that bear was important. I don't know why. And that's especially for those that need to alter your beliefs just a bit, or finances are involved. Because I knew this coming out of hibernation. I knew this survival almost, because she's going to care for the bear. Don't get me wrong. But bears just have a storyline of not only like going into hibernation and then coming out, it's about saving, or what was saved, or just, what I'm saying? Like when they go in there, they be out for a while. So you could have been off the market for a while, or you just had that energy where don't a lot change or happen, day to day. Whatever the case, we're going to talk about it. But you got the Eight of Wands. Okay, the Eight of Wands is definitely talking about action. Now, these are messages. So I do feel like I've changed, is here, or something changes. Building momentum in business is also applicable. All right. He's also the master of contentment and turbulence. So the fact that these Two Pentacles comes out is just praises his mastery, right? What he's mastered is definitely what somebody would need to survive this energy if it were shadowy, but it's not. And it has her name all over it. The twos in any deck are also connected to the queens, so I just throw that out. But I feel like the maiden is more like the page. And I don't know why I thought about habits when I saw the Two of Pentacles, maybe because of his spirit. Okay, so let me just get into my brain and out of the cards. Okay, so that isn't the Queen of Pentacles, but maybe me thinking that was applicable for the earlier message. The Maiden of Pentacles is the page. And somebody was like, how you know? Well, motherfucker. Yeah, because the knights are the knights. Ooh, look. And look who I just clicked on. And he got the baby and the big one. Oh, shit. And I know blended families and moved in together because I did see the Ten of Pentacles here, but let's just slow down. Okay. So something's... Okay. Turbulence mastered. Contentment emotionally, like keeping it contained. All right, don't be sloppy. This could be about your aesthetic. This could be about that relationship. This could be about your emotions. Okay. Then we have the Eight of Wands, which literally talks about packages, mail, texts, because we are in a retrograde or going into one, aren't we always, right? So just be mindful of that, where this citrine could just represent Mercury. Some of you could be communicating with someone, and I just feel like they're juggling. If you need to know, and you think they are, they might be. Okay. But there's a lot of communication, fast action, and movement. Now, those of you where it's more like spiritual, I do feel like these messages coming to our Queen of Cups could be from the divine, especially about what needs to change and or what gives that momentum that's needed. Now, the good news is I love to not work. Okay. So when I say things are changing and gaining momentum, it could be your actions that are helping. It may not be. It may be the time. It could be spirit. It could be the movement, the motion, and the messages. So I don't want you sitting there like, okay, I got to really, really, really get to work. And that's going to change this momentum, because when you're drowning, if you just take this 8 wands and miscommunicate it to, or misunderstand it to be a lot of action, people they say be calm, and, kind of flow with the water. If you drowning, you just kind of flow, because when you start paddling and getting all crazy, that's dangerous. So he goes with the flow. Okay. Now, if you about to click off the video because you're like, damn, another person ain't shit, I really thought things were changing for me, I just felt go with the flow. Especially if this is like new, or even if you guys are married or in a relationship, there's something about go with the flow, because spirit may be involved changing the momentum or even the habits of someone that could have been mistaken or actual truths. Okay, I'm not trying to make excuses for the bad guys, but if there was some deception, like this person stabbed you so many times, child, you ain't even got no more spots for another stab or whatever. I don't know. I do feel like there could be, I don't want to be toxic or lead you down the wrong way, because if they're not nice to you, or if there's like abuse or deception and cheating and stuff like that, please use your best judgment as an adult. Do not overly allow spirituality or mysticism to cloud your judgment away from common sense and being practical, please. Because I am, in my opinion, one of the most spiritual individuals I know. Metaphysics, quantum physics, the intelligence and spirit itself in my body. But I do still recall having moments feeling like things were divine and, other dimensional. But they dead ass was what they was. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop blaming everything on spirit, or like some sort of superhuman experience. That I'm just saying, don't shoot the messenger. So, spirit is like, yes, queen, wake that up. We got the confirmation from the sun card. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been there, and what's I ain't gonna say what's hard, but what's interesting about metaphysics, quantum mechanics, quantum healing, and spirituality, it's set up in a way, from my observation, that two things are going to always be true. So you have to be a very trusting, you have to trust, you have to be confident, and you have to go with the flow, because at any moment, genius and insanity are looking at each other. I promise you, there's no way around it. I've experienced things and I've said things, and I've seen things, but this hyper intelligence that I have, which is divine intervention, I ain't even trying to like toot no horns or nothing, is, I guess spirit had to trust me with it, because it helped me see what I wouldn't have seen as a spiritual person. because we think, oh, religion, ha ha ha, you know, it's so corrupted, politics corrupted, everything corrupted. So spirituality for a lot of us is the safe haven. But from my observation and experience, like I said, genius and insanity be staring each other in the face every day, and practical common sense and intelligence is kind of like a hierarchy above superpowers and intuition and love spells and shit. I'm trying to tell you, intelligence is a cure. So anyways, we got these 10 pentacles, and I just hope you ain't sitting here and I'm messing y'all message up because it's just you live with a person, or you may be moving in with someone, or there's a blended family situation, and you've been deceived or hurting for some reason or another. A child could be involved, I don't know, or just receiving some messages about that, and then a person has some sort of connection with the child. I feel we're gonna see who after a while. There also is a son involved for some of you. It doesn't have to be, but look at these more that's crazy. You got two fives here. That's very interesting. Okay, there's a change, and look at that. Okay, this is the mind. Okay, there could have been an argument. That's typical. All right, here it is. If something is frivolous, don't. If something is necessary, do. Even if it's a necessary sacrifice. I'm wondering how. Okay, we got the 10 of Pentacles here with the B on the forehead of the bear, and then the B is by itself with this rope, hangman. But bees are they represent like so much, so many things that are essential. But these 5 swords is giving me like honestly 4 sword ish, where it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna fall on my sword, like in this argument or giving up. And somebody, I don't want you to do that. I feel like your energy needs to be replenished. Like somebody's falling on their sword and losing their competitive edge. And I really don't feel like that is necessary. And either spirit, source, or just this energy thing is like internal, and it could be health and habits. Okay, see how they switch and turn? Like everybody gonna get that message. I'm not gonna leave it out. I feel that energy is very, very important for some of you guys, because now we have the page of Pentacles, just like you had the page of Wands, just like you had the page of Pentacles, which normally talks about some sort of news. So somebody could receive an actual thing, okay, or some sort of news, and it may be about a business. Okay, for others of you, I feel like it has to do with health and or finances and family, but that's in the center of it all. And that is something. Some of you are kind of like the cornerstone to a legacy. And I feel like for that reason, you just feel really conflicted and challenged about which way to go and what to do. That's also a part of your natal chart, but maybe also your experiences. And it's like your best advice is to be more competitive, is to get that spark. And I don't really tell people to fight, but I mean, this is the fight card, you know, but sometimes it's like what this card normally means is what the pictures are doing here. It's frivolous. And then it's like a family feud for some of you, probably with a son or about. Okay, and you may receive some communication about it. It might not even be your situation. It could be something else. Because this dude looking at me and how she came in with this face, I just feel like these are definitely two people. I just feel like it. And then the other one just really ain't even paying attention. So it's like, what are we not paying attention to? Because it's a pattern. Something that is not being looked at is a pattern. And then you have 2 10s here. You got the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Swords, as well as the 5 of Swords and the Five of Wands. So if you're into numerology, you actually got 3 tens, past, present, future, and they right connecting with each other. Because the 19 also breaks down to a 10 or a 1. So you have 3 wands. So it's like, look at the 3 wands, take the higher road. I don't know. The 3 wands are over here, the 2 are over here. So I feel like when we make an assessment and we have the energy and aspiration to move forward, that's the 2 wands. We get excited. We did step 1, we about to do step 2. But step 3 is like, oh, something else comes into the mix. So something else is coming into your mix, group 1. And I hope that it helped. Group 2, you have my day ones, baby. I think these were like the second group of cards that I got. The first ones were like the gilded something or other. Well, no, my first ones were Golden Dawn Tarot. And then I got, that's not what I started my channel with. That was like personal guidance or whatever. But then I got the gilded for my first ever YouTube channel from Barnes & Noble. Like, I need some tarot cards if I'm going to be a reader on YouTube. But the point is, I am a huge fan of all things Kim Cran. Okay? So group 2, you have the Wild Unknown Tarot and our beautiful quartz crystal. Very clear. And if you, from the intro where we talked about what your reading would embody, clearing mental noise, calming the nervous system, and helping you see things without projecting fear onto them. So some clear energy, and I will keep that in mind. Woohoo. Now what I love, and also what could be annoying, just depending, there is possibly a situation that where there's a lot of nostalgia. There's the retrograde coming up. There's all kind of transits happening. And I feel that you are going to see, smell, hear, taste, or think about things of the past, whether you want to or not, kind of like deja vu. Okay, that's for some of you. Yeah. Now also, there may be a long distance connection or something online that happens. That may have happened. Maybe you want clarity on that. We'll see where it goes. For some of you, if this is growth, the 6 of Cups with the World card definitely talks about graduating. Okay? And we'll see what else comes out with it. Oh, shit. Okay, let's keep... Oh, no. My word, that's some racing thoughts about work or money. Same shit. Like some of you, okay, I feel like it's also timing, okay? So the astrological timing for the 10 of Pentacles, let's see, 3 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Pentacles. Because you guys had a lot of Pentacles just fall out into my hand. And there's some things that's on your mind, or on their mind. So let's unpack it. I also feel like where it falls in your chart. Woo, some unexpected shock. Or something to be cautioned about. We have, for some of you, Mercury and Virgo energy, which just talks about the timing around possibly September time-wise. It points to harvest, legacy, money matters, family structures, long-term security, or something becoming mentally settled. Okay? Maybe this relationship locking up if there has been a breakup. Okay, look at that. This is an entirely different deck. This is craziness. What about the eclipse? Because you got the sun and the moon. Jesus Christ, what are y'all doing out here? We have Mars in Capricorn. This just talks about work structure, collaboration, building something correctly, getting recognized for skills, or taking practical action toward a goal. And for some of you, I feel like the gold is some sort of like generational wealth. I gotta make it neat for you. That is insane. That is so insane. Now, I feel like late August could be a significant timing for you, group 2, early September. And we're also talking about late September. But for some of you, it also pulls into early January. So you'd be surprised. Some people in the collective have some things that they could be thinking about for those timings, but it may not fit everyone. I do get that. Okay. Now, let's sit with this. Okay. There could be a sibling for some of you. And I feel like there's something about like, if they're not a Capricorn, I'm looking at the fire under the feet. Now, usually a favorable path would be like the elephant, right? But the goat with the fire under his feet, that could, in a challenging position, I feel like for some of you, it just solidifies the sign of this other person or the sibling. Okay. You guys could communicate online or live at a distance, but there's something, I don't know, negatively brewing in the subconscious of somebody that you're related to. I don't know how stable this person is, like health wise or financially, but I feel like somebody may want to work things out. Somebody else feels like they could be getting the shorter end of a stick. Okay. When it comes to like effort put into, hey, I've been there before, effort put into payout, that may be significant. Okay. We also have the sun and the moon. And I thought that was so crazy because we have Leo energy and Cancer energy. So we could be talking about a timing. There could be a lot of money coming to somebody. Now back up. Because the Wheel of Fortune with the Tower and this offer, all right, along your path, how much you've grown. Okay, you've really gotten settled, and the roots are, when you buy a plant and you start watering it and it start growing and the roots get all, it's comfortable. It's like settled. That's what I mean. There's something unexpected and it's a lot. And I feel like you put what you have with it, but it's way more than you have, sweetheart. So that don't even make no sense. Sunday could be significant for some of you guys. It does talk about summertime and Leo season. We said that. But I feel like success, exposure, joy, or something becoming obvious. Okay. We have Pisces. Also Pisces season, but I don't think that's as significant. So something about Sunday and Monday. We have moon cycles, dreams, intuition, uncertainty, or something still hidden. So you could receive some sort of confirmation. I don't know, the money, in contact with this person that lives at a distance, Sunday or Monday. But something is unclear. I feel like emotionally something is hidden or confusing. And I feel like this is the emotional thing that's hidden or confusing about a situation that you've put some distance in between. There's some distance, I feel, and like literally living in different countries, states, areas, or maybe just something that's online. Okay. But I still see something about like the path. And I feel like if somebody isn't clear, I don't know, it's still this thing about being realistic. I wouldn't let negative thoughts cloud your mind, because like you're trying to manifest something and you're really close to it and it's really big, but then trying to be realistic, that's kind of like self-sabotage and some unconscious, like subconscious negative talk where we have to let go of a certain ideology. Okay. Now, if there's like participation, co-workers, or like a merchant to person type situation, I do feel like there's some instability or a struggle or some sort of chaos involved, an unexpected thing in a group situation. And that's why I said for some of you it could be a sibling, others of you it's a coworker. See, that's why me and Spirit been talking about that. Like, what we gonna do? You want to do astrology and zodiac, or just like channeled messages? And they both the same, because these things happening in all of your lives gonna play out differently. But it's the planets, the moons, and the stars, honey, that shoot these energies. And that's why, like, some people may have this situation with sibling. Some people may have this situation with a coworker. And others, if it's like personal, we really got to get out of some, I feel like, if not like substance abuse, just negative thinking. Hearing things, being pulled at a crossroad, it's, it get kind of dark, because we got a bunch of dark, child, but you also got like the most auspicious, lightest card here, and it's next to your 10 pentacles. But it's like something gotta go. And then I appreciate that you are the weaver of your future. But it's like, if we cracking down, melting down, or responding to unexpected situations, then this energy creeps in with the whispers, and then we're not emotionally strong here. But looking at this, I don't think you need to look at nothing until this is not, you know what I mean? So yeah, let's see. You guys have, and see, that was quick. Group 1, it was like a little different, but group 2, we can do it. Because I guess I have a different style, but I guess with these, I did always take clarifiers. Okay. So now you got the 6 of Pentacles. So there's a lot of Pentacles. Okay. The 6 of Pentacles is usually some sort of support. So I love that. Some of you guys may have had to work for everything and may be either distant from family or dealing with, family, living. You could even be living with family. But there was something that may have happened back in May, okay, or some questions, because you have the moon in Taurus with your 6 of Pentacles, right? You got the moon here and more pentacles, I think, Taurian energy. So it talks about exchange, support, generosity, receiving, repayment, balance, and material help in timing. It can point to a moment when resources start moving and someone offers help. Money comes in, a debt is repaid, or a situation becomes more balanced, because it's like out of balance right now. Now, for some of you guys with the 8 of Pentacles, this is a date between August 23rd and September 1st. And then, like I said, the 10 of Pentacles is September, 3 of Pentacles is January. So support, work, stability, and structure. There could have been something that happened in January for some of y'all, and then the Capricorn is here, so it's just like double downing on January. Okay. That something could have happened, and like I said, I feel like this is pointing to the astrology aspect of it, or possibly timing. But others of you, like I said, maybe something online or being distant. Maybe somebody's distant emotionally because they were dealing with because the 6 of Cups is normally like, if it's not siblings or children, it's definitely like my soulmates. These are people that are deep rooted. So if it's not like soulmates, we got memories, you know what I'm saying? So it's something like nostalgic like that. It does represent the past. And so if we are talking about the past, then yes, for some of you guys, your message today is connected to January. Okay. Now with the Tower, now it's like, how is the Tower, your focus with the 3 of Pentacles in your environment? That's why I said I feel like it involves others. But you also have 2 6s, and 2 6s usually talk about material things. Okay, so there's that. Now, I feel like your focus could be on a breakdown, you feel me? Or a sudden realization or a shakeup of some sort. the structure is unstable. Something has to change. Maybe somebody wants something to change. But in the environment, I don't know, something does soften up. It says like you're not meant to handle a collapse. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Okay? Because here goes the Two of Wands from my lady in the World card. And it's like, okay. So that does talk about confidence and completion, or maybe even feeling like the child of the world on somebody's back. But I feel like when I said you were at a crossroad, the path is toward the money, child. Okay? That's for sure. Now, around you, there may be people or a community that support and who can't help you rebuild properly. Spirit says to let the faulty structure fall, but don't isolate yourself during the rebuilding. It could be about home, work, money, relationships, or a life plan. I do not like that. I feel that's a little bit of anxiety, nightmare. See, I don't like that. The devil with the Nine of Swords is definite fear and anxiety, and it's like extreme. Okay? But just know, the Three of Pentacles is the blueprint for something new. All right? It also means that other people are noticing your transformation. So your environment may be asking you to collaborate, accepting help from someone more skilled in specific areas. All right. Now, I do feel that we're holding on to some lingering emotions. And yeah, this is mental. So somebody's in like really mental anguish and upset, if not arguing. It's just frivolous though. It's like a low energy, a low vibe, and it's unnecessary. So sometimes the Tower talks about caution or breaking down the lie. But this is like just instability. This could have been a blowout or a really big argument or fight. But I feel like for some of us, it's just mental and energetic. And not following the guidance. It's like Spirit is trying to work with you, because it almost came out in reverse. And the Six of Swords in reverse is a little bit different from upright. So it almost came out in reverse. And I said it upright because we want it upright. But something is breaking down or being revealed. Okay, rebuilding. And then it talks about difficulty moving on or returning to old patterns. Emotional resistance or delaying healing. So some of us like know that something may need to change. But there is help around you. Part of you may still be mentally or emotionally tied to a situation. Wanting peace but not fully trusting to move forward. Like you're trying to leave the energy behind, but your mind keeps going back to it. And it could point to a disrupted transition, like plans changing, relocating delays, difficulty moving away from a conflict, or feeling like you are carrying the Tower rumble with you instead of leaving it behind. Don't force yourself through it alone. Talk it out, let someone help you make plans and get outside of perspective. All right? Because your mind could be looping, but we're supposed to be grounded and practical. Okay? Now it's like, I didn't like that. The Four of Cups with the Ten of Pentacles. I don't know. It's kind of like one too many. Right? The Four of Cups usually just talks about something that we don't want. Like getting exactly what we want and don't even want it. Now, while the Ten of Pentacles talked about long-term potential, the Four of Cups says your heart may still feel disconnected or disappointed. Emotionally closed off or focused on what is missing rather than what is being offered. The blessing is real, but your emotional state may be blocking you from appreciating it. In money or career, it can show an opportunity for security growth, but you may feel uninspired by it, like it is practical but not emotionally fulfilling. And that's greed or pride or something like that with the Four of Pentacles. It's like something isn't emotionally fulfilling, but it's a blessing. So there you have it. And then for some of you, that's not even the story. You could be dealing with something, trying to make peace with something, trying to find your position in something that could involve a community, but it's like, I ain't feeling it. It happens. That's why so many people come off and on social media or whatever the case. It's like you do want to do it, but sometimes doing it don't feel right. For some, you know. Now the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords with the Eight of Pentacles. I like the little fox because it does say for some of us during this, we have to be very swift thinking and clever, which means this energy and that attitude ain't going to get us nowhere. Just be smart. Okay. Work consistently, but it also talks about secrecy, if not secrecy, strategy. And just like this, Tower card, it also talks about caution, not showing your full hand. Okay, so somebody could be like rejecting something, but still kind of like holding back something. And be careful who you share your process with. Okay, someone could be studying you and watching your progress, trying to benefit from your work without giving proper credit in a work or creative situation. This can be a warning about copying, hidden motives, or someone not fully being transparent. Okay? Especially regarding this area. So, okay. Don't announce the plan before it's ready. Work behind the scenes and refine your skills privately. But like for relationship energy, it could suggest someone trying to work on things, but they're not fully honest about their thoughts, motives, or past behaviors. And it may be putting in effort, the person or you, but there's still avoidance or emotional evasiveness. Okay? So Moon in Aquarius, anyone? Sun in Virgo for some. But it doesn't have to be stuck to timing. Just to point that out, okay? Now, if I get it... Oh, okay. I was going to say that if I got a girl, that was going to be funny. We got Leo for sure. As far as the season, it's undeniable. But then we also have... Oh, so we got Aquarius, Moon, Leo, Sun. That may be significant. Ooh. Now, I see these two because the sun and the moon is like, I'm going to show you, or it could be energy, masculinity. But see, when it comes to like what is hidden, I feel that it has to do with the plan or strategy. Somebody like does not know which road to go on. Okay. And then unfortunately for him, he is a lone shark. You know, he's a, what do you call it? A person who's just like all they got. You know, the Father of Wands is like, I don't have the support and I'm probably too egotistical to ask for it anyway. I may not show my emotions, but I do hold on to them. And unfortunately, it does cause anxiety, negative thoughts, or just being combative. Or me just, you know, one straddling the fence, somebody straddling the fence about something. See what I'm saying? And that's toxic. The straddling the fence could be kind of toxic. Ooh, with somebody, I don't know. I don't know about them two together or as advice or a potential outcome. Because it's just like once I say what I said, that's what I said. It also talks about strategy and plan. But these are two very dominant energies. Or maybe it's just like that. Okay, maybe y'all got, you know, a little bit of, you know, things going on, and that's the household plan. But yeah, okay, it's kind of like I don't know. Also, because the Father of Wands is literally, it could be like a biological father. Okay. And then the Father of Swords is kind of like an ex, you know, someone deceased, or just really, really smart, a judge, an attorney, or an older person. You know what I mean? So somebody may need that. That's why I'm just breaking it down there. But this is like totally emotionally unavailable or absent. Somebody could be, okay. if a person is just dealing with conflicting thoughts, anxiety, negativity, mentally just not really stable, and aren't really forthcoming with that, but along their path, accept an offer from someone who is, I don't know, very, I don't want to say well-rounded, but with these 4 pentacles, it's like there is gonna come up, like it's no way out. You know what I mean? Kind of, I don't know, that was weird. No way out is crazy, but that's the challenge, is to break that energy by being locked in with your fears. Okay, and for some, I ain't gonna even hold you, and I have to say this just in case you're dealing with another person, because Spirit, this is the guide that normally takes people who have these type of discrepancies and just lift them up. The Holy Spirit just wrap them in her love. This person ain't got that. Or I'm not gonna lie to you, like, don't get mad at me and say, how you know who with me and who not? Spirit flipped this card around, and because I'm nice, I turned it back up. But there's just something about this right now that is, if this is not you, it's something invading your thoughts or your energy, man. And you have to be mentally tough. Do they? Oh, okay. Our Spirit was like, don't be mentally tough. Okay. I want to get this. Let me ask you, since they ain't gotta be mentally tough, I don't think that's the word. Rise above chaos. Both of these birds are rising. Okay, this is like paying attention, and this is like to the patterns and recalling. All right, to your hopes, wishes, and dreams. Focus on what you want. Oh, the goal, the strategy, the plan. Focus on the plan. It's like, it don't matter that some of it is an unknown, or you're not there yet. Oh, okay, got it. Okay. And somebody could be mad to a cheater, but we don't do that. Sorry about that for you. But that is what I have for you, Group 2, and I hope that it helped. Group 3, it is amethyst. So even though we didn't really talk about the actual crystal, you guys have amethyst. And at the bottom of the deck, we have patterns and cycles. So let's lay out a pretty picture for you guys. We have I am. All right. Men's Spirit already talked about what that was. We're going to break that down. Okay. Got it. You also have gathering and tribe. All right. Be loved. Wings. Purpose and duty. We have vulnerable. Commitment. Less is more. Keep going. And acceptance. Okay. All right. We also have creators of the new earth and safe passage. So we're going to be talking about your journey, Group 3. We're going to be talking about you guys in general. Now, there could be others because it's given like Hermit vibe. And it's also given like Six of Swords, which at least yours came into the upright. I'm okay with that. So I feel like you can't go wrong. Okay. I feel like there's some transformation and some changing. I don't know how you feel about commitment. And I think it's personally, and I don't feel like it's isolated to relationships. Because sometimes commitment is like, how long can you do the same thing? That's commitment. If you have a workout regimen, or If you have goals and plans, like how often are you capable of doing something that you planned on doing and being consistent with it? That's commitment. But for some of us, me seeing the wings there, it's like often change. Now that could be you in a message that we're going to talk about, or it could be spirit or something along your path that has something to do with your duty and your purpose. But I feel it makes you vulnerable. There's some sort of vulnerability about being committed, or even just the awareness knowing that you're not, or that you are, however it fits. Now, because others are involved here, possibly there's this challenging energy that could involve other people or a feeling of belonging. I feel like that could have a lot to do with it. If you were comfortable, or if someone was comfortable, we wouldn't be talking about some of this. But it's like, because you're trying to find something and it's not allowed out there that is anything like you to be found, right? It could become a little bit discouraging, or whatever word. I don't want to make up words, but you literally have keep going. And it's because of something that so there's a fear of commitment, but also an energy of somebody's just like, okay, it's not you. See, I don't just be talking noise. I'm fair. For some of you, it could be, because it transpires in everybody's lives differently. But others of us, it's like you ain't where you supposed to be at. So don't fault yourself and say you have commitment issues when that person isn't for you, that job isn't for you, that area isn't for you. Like, you know, deep down inside, it's not like your end all be all or whatever. So you can't really say that. Now, I think that it's super cute that collectively, if the star didn't come up, the Six of Cups came up, and here it goes. You got the number 8, beloved, that has 2 kids. Okay, kind of like the sun card. We got the rainbow and the waterfall or whatever. Okay, and that could be significant to, like I said, timing, or also a transit, because everybody wouldn't have similar energies in totally different decks, right? If that weren't so. So what I want to do for you really quick, I'm going to check something, group 3. Here we are. Oh, it could be August. We have the number 8. Okay. Embody compassion. Okay. Lead with kindness. And love is a state of being. So somebody getting less is more. It's like, how much and how many y'all love him? We have release excess. Something about the environment, and I feel like it has to do with these people. Because less is more is literally pointing to this transformation and the tribe. Okay, the tribe is 40. And if it's in a challenging position or like shadowy, I would say for some of you it's isolation, and others of you it's community and belonging. Okay. Now with the I am mantra, y'all coming in with like moon energy, like literally something being highlighted, something unexpected being highlighted about a person in your family or environment. Or maybe you struggle with being highlighted. If you are one that isolates and commits to nothing because you're in search of, that kind of sound like a Mac Daddy, ain't gonna lie. Now if you got some soulmates or some twin flames that's been distant or away, and you know how they come along every so often, because this person's still in pursuit, you know they're never gonna find you, a person like you, and that sometimes brings them back. But hopefully, you know, you guys find some sort of peace or resolve. I see the 4 birds, kind of like 4 swords. It's like some sort of victory or some sort of healing, but less is more, and clearing out clutter. I feel like what you accept in the near future is going to say a lot about who you are and like what you want to manifest. So be careful with that. Okay. If people don't care, support, love you, and most of all of the relationship has been you, like they have no idea that the word relationship, you and them, even exist on this planet. Don't tell the universe that you don't care about being welcome mat on the floor, getting walked over, and because that is whatever. Don't do that. All right. For some of you, it does talk about like our identities, like understanding who we are. Okay. That's not funny. Sorry guys. Yeah, understanding who we are. That was happening in the recent past. I know there's a lot of transits, so that means that they could still be active. So identity, how you see you, how people see you. Be mindful of negative definitions and choose empowering language. Okay, words create inner reality. Words create inner reality. So let go of what isn't for you. Okay, so I knew that was really important for somebody. Now, the positive thing is to align your choices with your values. See, like whoever, if I'm talking to a person who does not have goals or want to be their highest selves or want to manifest favorable relationships or anything good, you just hear because I don't know, that's cool. But this message is for people like you do want people, yourself, God, the universe, your kids, like you want to be seen in a higher light. You want to experience more favorable things. And spirit is like, to do that, you have to align your choices with that value, baby. And that includes who you doing it with, what you doing, like that all counts, you know? So we can't, I don't want to, and here's where like my Aquarian energy or Gemini rising, you know, Gemini North Node will come in and be like, you can't do this, that, and that, and then want this, that, and that, because it could sound a bit antagonizing. I don't want to do that, but I do want to make a point. Like, I want you to know how much sense that does not make to have one identity in your mind about yourself, but make opposite choices. And that includes somebody who wants to be treated like a king or a queen, or want a soft life, or want a good husband or a good wife. You want a favorable relationship. You want to be God's favorite. You think you the Holy Ghost's number one friend, but you date scumbags and get walked all over and still crying over somebody that don't even know your phone number. Stuff like that. It happens. Purpose unfolds through service for some of us. I think those of us that may have had the commitment issues, to get that energy out of our minds, because it's like, if you feel that you haven't done anything, that's the aura you carry. And it doesn't have to be like that. It's people who ain't done nothing and still got a high aura because they don't think they ain't done nothing. We just do if we look at them. So it's about you. And then it trickles down to what's outside of you, like others. But others really don't matter as much as what's brewing in you. Okay? Now on the shadow side, since we did start with the number 18 and literally have the moon in several of the cards, okay, aimlessness. And I feel like if we look at the imagery here, if one were to be aimless, you know, a pattern of constant transformation, and may not have the best track record with commitment, it's like we're running in fear and you hanging on by a thread, but you don't never break. That's luck. I think about, it's in your chart. I've read some of them where we just are lucky, and I think it's like Pisces and something, I can't remember, but I also got a feeling like it got something to do with Jupiter. I can't remember, but it's a thing. And you may not even have that thing. Don't even worry about it. Unbeknown to you, you are the weaver. You could create things, but it's like you haven't found what it is that you want or your purpose wholeheartedly, or environment, or being comfortable. So you're not weaving anything. You're just bobbing and weaving. I'm so silly, bro. I gotta be stopped. Anyways, but you get what I'm saying? Like, you just running along. Like this beautiful cutie here, but it's so dangerous because they be hunting them. You know what I mean? So it could make somebody's day to be at the park and see it. So you fulfilled your duty. You've done service. Something that small matters. It's that simple. You trying to be big and grand and change and do this thing, but maybe it just starts with like one little thing. Okay, but anyways, all right. So now acceptance. I feel like acceptance also, this could have gone another way. So that's a message for somebody else. This could have gone another way, where some of you have, it's two different things. Okay, because it's the shadow and the light of the same thing, or maybe different deacons of your zodiac signs. I don't know. But for some of you, it's to keep going. Others of you is to commit. And see, where some people have fear of commitment, others are going to, or they got the gift of like perseverance. And I would think somebody was struggling with commitment may need some perseverance, but what if you like the perseverance God? You know what I mean? But you still struggle with commitment, then what? That means this ain't for you. Something, some person, because you will if you want to. You would, you have, I suppose. Okay. But I don't know, for some of you, I just feel like it goes like this for some of you. And I knew that when I did it, when I laid the cards out. Because if you go back to the beginning of your reading, like I went left to right, but then when I got to the bottom, I went right to left on purpose. Because if I didn't do this way, I would have missed somebody else's message. And then if I do it this way, I still read it the other way. I've always been like that. But I wanted you to see it that way. Okay? So we start with the moon, and then we end with like half moon. Something about the half moon, where there could be an unexpected emotion, change, feeling, part of your journey, divine experience. You wake up and see something crazy. You know, people be having sightings. You wake up and your whole living room sparkling like that. I don't know what y'all into, but something happens, I believe. Okay. And like accepting it. No resisting. Okay. But where I was with acceptance, because that's what took me to it, to turn it around. Somebody could be in denial, which is why they got commitment issues. Because it's like, you know, this is meant to be, baby. You know, this is the one for you. But it's like they don't know who they are. And I feel like that gives them problematic intentions and behaviors, which it kind of sounds like an excuse, but it's also true. So somebody else who know this person would be like, stop making excuses for them. But me being an oracle, it's like, you want to understand it or not? Because I'm gonna also be ultra realistic and say that don't mean you're supposed to forgive them. I mean, not forgive, but it's like, you ain't supposed to say, oh, okay, this is why they're that way. Okay, I can let them walk all over me now. I get it. No, I am not saying that. But if you want to understand, let's get some understanding. Does that mean, feel sorry for them and go get walked on, or have anxiety chasing them and they ain't paying you no attention? No, it does not mean that. But some people struggle with who they are, so they don't really make sound choices. They do what they think looks okay, or they do what may be normal. They do what somebody else did that they know. But it's like, I don't know what I want. So they just doing things. And then what if you are what they want? That's going to be a struggle, because it's like, I don't usually feel like this. What is this? You know what I mean? What happens here? What is going on? And then I could go down the rabbit hole, right? Spirit is like, go down the rabbit hole. Or maybe that's why this one was last, because like, she's definitely going to go down the rabbit hole. But I won't. Okay. 21. Group 3 had the world card right there. and they reading was nothing to do with being vulnerable. But I do feel like some of you, some really special individuals or individual, the spirit is like, that is the message. Stop running from it. You're in denial. And me laughing is so country. Like, what I can't help but hate. I'm with spirit. So, you know, if y'all packed up and stopped coming here tomorrow, I would still be with spirit. Vulnerable. We talked about it here. So just be mindful. That I can share truth wisely. Okay? But also, authentic openness should supersede defensiveness. And spirit does want someone to have courage, but understand that it includes tenderness. Okay? So we did learn that a lot, especially when it came to the twin flames and the soulmates. It's like, you love, hate, but hate is not cool. It's not healthy. And it could change your personality to have that little bit dark spot on your heart. Okay? So just be careful with that. Now, in the near future, still, we got this Wheel of Fortune. Well, no, that's like the World Card Energy Wheel of Fortune. So some of y'all gonna hit the jackpot. If you are a content creator, a merchant, you do something, because these could be the people. So I'm talking about people like you hit the jackpot with views, you hit the jackpot with clientele, you hit the jackpot with choices to choose from, or maybe you just felt lucky and hit the jackpot with this person that is very healing. I don't know, maybe spirit sent them your way, and then y'all on the same path, which is kind of cool. But it's like you have to accept your path to do that, because we do resist it sometimes. We do feel split, some of us. I mean, I really don't, but I say we so we can all be comfortable. I have, okay, humans, nobody's above reproach. Like, you know what I mean? Like, anyone who is on a path to anything, you've made several adjustments and caught yourself doing things. And usually people who are on a path, or that come to my channel, we're honest with ourselves. So I can say something and my collective appreciate, yeah, you're right. But I do know how the mass amount of strangers that just pass through tarot and get fluff about what their spouse might look like 5 years from now. And I be doing those readings too, but child, whatever. So the point is, your acceptance of who you are, your commitment along your path, your perseverance through unexpected changes, your tenderness and kindness and love is also your innocence. You light body, you know, crystal healer, whatever, star seeds and all that. It is also important to maintain that benevolence along your path. So them little bitty specks of what life does is like super gross. You can't have that. Sorry. Okay. But spirit, if you don't feel like nobody cares or is watching you, or you're not loved and you don't belong anywhere, you don't fit nowhere, we all have said that, and we are the exact ones that have the gift and the ability to change or alter that experience, because our natal charts or our past lives have that embedded into your neurological system in your brain, as well as natal charts. So you grow up into that energy, and then you have to ask yourself, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Because you were trying to tell me about the chicken, but I'm like, the chicken used to be an egg. I don't know, but does that make sense? Like somebody spirit said no. The ones that feel most isolated, misunderstood, that have had, look at this turbulence. It's like shot straight from the higher dimension. Look at that, pow. Nothing. I don't know what that means, but y'all see that? That's kind of beautiful. Okay. I really like that a lot. Acceptance. And that's crazy how like the ground is actually like the atmosphere, so things are upside down. But it's like, I did this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to shake things up. And maybe it'll clear the path. I don't know, but where I was getting, y'all heard where I was going. We are the ones, though, the ones that feel, like I said, misunderstood or have experienced some. We're not religious. It's not that we're isolated, but you were surrounded by people and things that you felt you needed to isolate yourself from, and then we're not the ones that probably walked away first. It seemed like it's everybody else. Like you be the last one to stay in certain relationships, or the one trying, or sitting asking questions like, what did I do wrong? How can I make this better? Meanwhile, if they did that, then those relationships would have worked. Some of you didn't have parents, grandparents, you know what I mean? So it's like those ones who feel like, oh, I'm just a, XYZ. But it's like, no, you're feeling like that manifested those experiences. And that's where I get cussed out and blocked. It's like, you telling me it was my fault? No, I cannot say that their behaviors are your fault. That experience that involved multiple people is your fault. I'm telling you how the law of energy works. Okay, and past life, to regress that is to alter your frequency, because when you don't, you incarnate with past frequencies and are definitely going to have those same experiences. So could you blame Cujo and Kojak for what you went through if you came in this planet with that energy from a long time ago? Because you experienced it with Jake, and then you come back this life and you experienced it with Jan. Is it Jan's fault for real, 100%? See what I'm saying? So that's what I have, group 3, and I do hope that it helped. Okay, so my beautiful group 4s, you guys have Howlite. Now, I'm not gonna lie, and this is projecting, okay? Howlite with the Ace of Pentacles just gave me luxury. It also gave me a physical place. Now, what place has Howlite, you know what I'm saying, other than like something luxurious or nice, unless you're going to a beach or, something like that. But I totally thought that was like really significant, because I just felt that. I was like, oh, we got like something tangible, okay, with Howlite and the Ace of Pentacles. But we're going to pull more cards. I'll give you that one. We're going to shuffle them up, and then we'll get started with your reading. My beautiful group 4s, I do hope that all is well. And if you're new here, I'd like to welcome you personally into the family, and all of my supporters, I appreciate your continued support. Okay? I said Howlite, like the stone. Somebody type highlight. I was like, what? No, not like highlight in your hair. So anyway, it's a very calming energy. So for some of you, it just talks about emotional regulation and patience. That's sometimes what, look at that. Okay, we're gonna do like group 1. Cool. You ain't gotta tell me twice. Now, what we talked about, grounding, emotional regulation, and quieting mental noise, the Ace of Pentacles helps with that. It is also a card for money, wealth, health, home, routine, or stable opportunities. Okay, so group 4, I feel like you could be at the beginning of something real world potential. Don't rush it. All right. Ooh, we got 2 queens. Did we got 3 queens? Oh, okay. So maybe I was just supposed to take that, because I was like, Spirit, why you want me to see that? I remember that story, child. Because 3 queens is definitely a fight. Or it tells us about like the 3 cups, or the 3 fates, where the pentacle now is like the maze, or the wheel of fortune, but you didn't get that. So we're gonna see what you did get. Oh my gosh, you got a lot of aces. You got 2 aces, so definitely a new beginning. I love that. And you also have 2 cups. Okay, new group 1. And look, the number 4. You have the 4 swords, or 4 wands actually. So there's going to be some sort of event. You have the 9 of wands. Oh shit. I think this is for my winners, because we talked about a lot, all of the reading. And this seems like, I want to say a better way to see it, but that's, what does that mean? That's kind of messed up. A better way to see it. Mm-hmm. Okay, get ready to receive. Group 4, you have to get ready to receive. I feel like there was something that transpired. Maybe, I hate when that happens. I be, look at that. And just, ain't nobody said nothing like, girl, you going up. Okay, there we go. I feel like something may have happened in the recent past, like you're trying to manifest something. And the spirit is showing me that it's coming through for you. It may not be physical just yet, but some of you, it is definitely going to be tangible. If some of you were looking to relocate or like purchase something, land, property, a contract, deeds, that could also be significant. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Sun card. So there's a lot about July. There's a lot about August for the collective that's important. So I'll make sure that I get to your July horoscope reading. Okay. So if you're just joining us, we have the Queen of Cups, the Two of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Four of Cups, with the Page of Wands, then the Ace of Cups, the Four of Wands, the Fool card, the Moon, and the Queen of Swords. And I thought about this pink moon. It doesn't have to be significant. I know that was what, May, June. And then this does talk about the past. So there could be some receiving for past efforts, or just like some sort of reflecting, some I don't want that, that leads to aggravation. So some of you guys, be mindful if you feel like there's a bad decision and I'm really triggered and I'm not feeling so well about something, because there's more beneath the surface. Just hold tight, and maybe some words of advice or inspiration could come up. Okay, but I do know that it's very emotional, relationship centered, and has a strong warning about not getting swept away by feeling, fantasy, or fear. Okay, so the first one we have, especially with our Queen of Cups, all the way down to this Page of Wands, it feels like someone has deep feelings and a real emotional bond is present, but there is guardedness. All right, there's a feeling of love. It's intuitive and mutually felt energy, so that's kind of cool. But with the Nine of Wands, it kind of shows that someone has been hurt and is defensive, or is wanting to see whether it's safe to open up again. Excuse me. I think that adds hesitation or emotional withdrawal, not fully receiving what is being offered. And see, here is receiving and here is not receiving. Okay, and she's like reflecting on the past, but this is like more emotional and like felt. So I could see that. I feel like it also brings a spark though, the advice or spirit, and we talked about that spark, especially with group 1. This bringing a spark back. Okay, so if this is within your relationship, it could be as simple as a flirty message, curiosity, someone wanting to test the waters without making a heavy commitment yet, because we have talked about commitment versus not commitment. But it also shows like emotional renewal or a fresh start. It does tell us that it can be beautiful, a new love for some of you guys, a reconciliation, emotional openness, even the potential for stability or celebration. And the Fool in the center says that the world or the situation could require a leap of faith or starting over with a clean slate. However, with the Moon right here, it warns that not everything is clear just yet. So there could be confusion, hidden feelings, fear, mixed signals, or someone projecting hope onto the situation. And then she is advising us to use our discernment. Ask direct questions and don't let your emotions override clarity. Okay? So it's like there is love or emotional potential, eventually a fresh beginning, but someone is guarded and uncertain. Now, for some of you guys, I do have relationship. For others of you, this could be in work. And then others of us, I'll do 3, okay? Well, there's 4. Here is, I do feel like something comes in that benefits the situation. There's like wish fulfillment. Others, there's something about relationships and possibly something being reckless. Something is coming to the awareness, like, did I rush? If you were in a relationship, I feel like someone may have felt, what do you call, impulse? Okay, cool. So I won't say who is for, right? Because however it's for y'all, it's for y'all. But there could have been some impulsiveness. So be mindful. It could have been shopping. It may have been carrying the load. Like, I'm going to do this, you're going to do that. But nobody really thought out or planned who was going to do what. Okay. Because we also have the tower. So it's like something explodes. It does talk about recklessness. And even for some, unfortunately, like accidents. Just moving too fast and not really kind of like, paying attention and reflecting. Okay. And then it's like a domino effect. If we've just been in a very impulsive vibe, without really clear thinking, this card here, hold on, I guess I gotta sit some of them down, child. This kind of pointed out, it was like peeking at me from over there, a domino effect, okay, of things. But where does it end? And it's like, you'll know, like, you've learned these lessons and then possibly avoided some inner knowing that could have brought balance. But it's okay. It's definitely okay. Okay. There could be also a run-in for some of you guys. You may be triggered by running into someone. I don't know if it's in person or not, but they could come up. I don't know, like a picture or a conversation. I don't know. So just be mindful of that. Okay. Now I did want to dig into, hold on, this engagement. Okay. Because it does have the Two of Cups, and I feel like that's favorable. So for some of us where it's not all doom and gloom, okay, it's very favorable. Where is it? Okay, so we have love, relationships, friendships, okay, romance, partnerships, connecting with others, and soulmates, mutual attraction, and then catalyst for creative collaborations. Now look, I knew that there was a reason that the Three of Pentacles and the Sun card was here, because that is a creative collaboration. And then when I see the Knight of Swords with the Tower, it just kind of is like something that was held up or delayed coming out of nowhere. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's not all doom and gloom. I told y'all, just be patient. Now the Two of Cups here offers a mutual attraction that leaves them floating helplessly, these people. All the feels is what it says, and they find themselves on the same wavelength, impossibly drawn to this connection that blossoms so easily. So that's why I said something comes out of somewhere or nowhere, and it just seems really easy. It talks about creating a blended reality, collaborating, working, and twisting together in ways that allows them to envision. I love that. Sharing yourself wholeheartedly with another, and it's the way to drift into love that is being offered. So I absolutely love that. So what is, I want to see, did I pass it? Hold on, you guys. Oh, I didn't pass it. Okay, cool. All right, so it is an event, a gathering, a time with friends and family, a celebration of marriage, or another important milestone, experiencing the sacred in your community. Okay, a gala of stability. All right, one for each of the four elements. This quartet of creators sit quietly. So for some of you, it could be four of you instead of just two. It could also be three. So just be mindful that it keeps talking about a group of creators. So that's kind of cool. It talks about all the things that they've done and how they're just hanging out chilling. It talks about their hearts expanding, and a milestone is one of those that need to fully be felt and remembered. So to help you guys with your manifestation, I feel like feel it. If you are wanting to manifest more or attract something, because she has her eyes closed, like she's zooming in trying to get something, the message for you all is to actually feel it. If you want things to come together, you have to feel it. That's your magic power. But it's like, be mindful of what you're feeling, because some of us are triggered sometimes by not knowing everything, not having all the answers, or doing something risky, or taking, a leap of faith. Some of us are triggered by that. So it's like, well, you can't really feel how you need to feel, because there's going to be this trigger is the minute we step into unknown territory. And here's the unknown territory that brings about these negative feelings that don't have, you go from 4 of Wands is what you're trying to pull together, but you're feeling the 4 of Cups. So just be mindful of that. That could be significant and important. Okay. Let's see your focus. Now, it's a good thing that some of us are like, our focus is, us persevering, this new beginning, right? Sometimes it's not all cracked up. It's not all that it's cracked out to be when you're embarking on a journey and possibly alone. Like, these people are together, but that could be a challenge for some. Okay, so instead of like a small network, maybe a slightly larger network could help, because some people struggle with intimacy and personal relationships. So it could be hard for you to work one-on-one. It may be better for you to work with a group. And I know that could sound weird to some, but it's psychological. Okay, and this ain't medical advice, dear ones. But if there has been intimacy issues, or people do struggle with one-on-one relationships, being in a group is a different vibe. So that's news you can use. Now, for your focus, we have a last defense, protection, setting boundaries, following through, the final push, giving up too early, or being overly vigilant, unwarranted defensiveness. And it's like, why is that? What is happening here? Hold on. Well, the Fool card in this particular deck, is that how we feel about a new journey, beginnings, or trust? Sometimes we're triggered by having to trust, but in this case, it talks about trust in the universe, a time for optimism, not knowing what's coming. Someone could be defensive because they don't want to be naive. And Spirit just says a need to learn new skills, analysis paralysis, or a leap of faith. Okay, so she sees her future here in this beautiful swirl of light and potential. What are you searching for? Asks the muse. Something brave, she whispers. Something new. For the briefest of moments, she feels unprepared, naive, unsure, and foolish. And she asks herself, are you ready for this? Can you take this journey? And the muse wants her to remember that she is, and she can. She wants her to believe in her magic. As she leaps, she learns deeper into the trust and begins to hum once again, a song that sounds different this time around, grander, epic even. The notes vibrate the space around her, and her new path begins to unfold, leaving nothing to do but begin. So, a message from the oracle, right? The temporary feeling of this will not hinder, okay, the strength of persevering, because even though this did talk about being defensiveness, sometimes, baby, you fighting yourself. So it's like you have to defend what you're walking toward. Like, what are you even fighting for? What do you wish to gain? Okay, and for some of you guys, it's material, so it's like, well, you have to feel it, but it's like, I also feel negativity, and so what do? You have to defend one over the other, it looks like. Especially when it talks about this future unknown. Now, she can persevere sometimes when things are presently affecting her, I suppose, or she gets defensive, but it looks like the feelings that, are contradicting to the goal come when the future is involved, not the present. So that's very interesting. My Queen of Wands, she is in receiving mode and has high expectations. I like a blend of the Queen of Wands with a creative imagination, and also the energy to pull something from, the vortex into the physical. she is focused. She uses her discernment, and there's no fear there, because even if you go into unknown territory, you have the gift of discernment. How can you lose? Okay. But for some of us, there's also other energies connected to us or tied to us that are the reason why acceptance is a superpower in the first place, because some energies, like to feed off of fear, sadness, doubt, disappointment. And so it is there as well. But you'll know when it's there because you feel bad. And sometimes when you kind of like move out of the emotions a bit, because this is what they're supposed to be used for. Now, I can't tell you what to do with them. And I'm not saying that you have to turn them off or on. But here's a favorable thing that manifests, I feel like, something you want. But then an unfavorable thing is when the feeling or the emotion gets interfered with by, and it's not even thinking, it's more of an energy. It's just like a negative energy that causes some sort of, I don't know, I don't want this. It's just, I don't want nothing. So if you feel energy depleted and want some sort of renewal, I do feel like trying something new, doing something different, because you could be you're struggling to do something the way you've always done it, or you act the way you always act when you have these sort of debacles. But Spirit is like a new way of doing things could help, because there may be a fear of the unknown, or you get exactly what you want and then you still don't want it, and it's like, why? Well, because now you're not, what do they call it, emotionally satisfied? I guess you were over here doing this, but then you do something else and you might not. So I don't know how that works for you guys, but I do hope that it helps.